Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to look at is local and global variable scope. So you might be asking yourself, what's scope? Well, scope is where your variables are visible. In this example here, I've shaded the Python file blue, and within the function, the yellow area is a function. The area in blue is home to global scope. The area within that function is considered local scope. So any variable declarations in the global scope are considered global. Any variable declarations within the function are considered local. It's important you know this because we're going to see some strange behavior, and we're also going to figure out a way to overcome some of this strange behavior that's built into the language. Okay, I made my Python file for this section called one-local-global.py. And in this particular file, what we're going to do is we're going to explore the behavior of global and local variables. So the first thing we need to do, of course, is create a global variable. So I'll create a global variable and I'll assign an integer value to it, 10. And this variable is available throughout the file. And let's create a function now. And I'll call this local_function. And within this function, let's create a local variable called local_var, and I'll assign a value of 20. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to start checking the accessibility of it. So the first thing we can do is we can make a print statement, and I'm going to try to print out global var just to confirm that we can access it in the global space. And sure enough, we can access it, and it prints out a value of 10. Okay, now we're going to print, or try to print, this local var, which is scoped within the function. And let's see what happens here. Ooh, I have that little underlining thing. It says local var is not defined because it's not accessible. And if I try to run my Python file, it actually says name local var is not defined. So it's not accessible. So what about if I tried to access global var inside of the function? Let's see if we can grab the value of global var. So we'll try to print it out. And so we should get two print statements when we run this now. And the other thing I'm going to do is call the function now. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. So let's run this now, and we're going to call local function, and let's see what happens here. And if you notice here, we do get the value of global var twice. Once from a print statement outside the function and once from within the function. Now I'm just going to try and print the local var just to make sure that I can access that. And yes, we can see that the value of 20 is printed out, and that's the value of local var. Congratulations! You've now begun to explore the scope of local vars and global vars. Remember, local variables are the ones that are declared within your function. A global variable is something declared in your Python file, so it's not scoped. It's available everywhere within this file. And I'll just write a little note about what we did. And we just explored the scope of variables. Okay, I'm going to do a save as, and we're going to call this 02 or 2 local-global.py. And what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some more behavior in terms of local and global variables. Specifically, we're going to look at update in terms of a global variable within a local scope. In other words, a global variable within inside of a function. And we're going to see the behavior. Okay, so here we have our global variable. It's equal to 10. Here we have our function. And within our function, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to update the value. So we'll assign it a value plus the original value plus 100. And then we'll try to print it off. So everything worked before we added this incrementing. And you'll see here, local variable global var is referenced before assignment. So although a global variable can be read within a function, it cannot be updated within a function. That's the key. So, and just to confirm that, I'll copy that out and you'll see everything still works. So how do we take care of this? Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. And we'll explore those in just a moment. So Python provides us with a global keyword. And we're going to use that global keyword to try that out. And we'll do a save as. And we'll call this 3-local-global.py. Okay, so we're going to use a special keyword that's provided by the Python language called global. And what global is going to allow us to do is, within a function, not only access the global variable's value, but also let us update it. So how do we create a global variable or reference a global variable within a function? Well, I'll clean up that function and I'm going to use the keyword global space and then the name of my global variable, which happens to be global var. And now I'm referencing a global variable. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and print it just to verify that we have access to that global variable. And we might as well clean up some things from the last thing and take a look at that. So not only can I access the global variable, but I can also print it out. Okay. We've done that before, so let's now try to update the value. So let's do a reassignment. We'll increment the value of the variable by 100. And remember, last time we got an error doing this without the global keyword. And we'll run a print statement to see if it was updated or not. And we might as well get rid of that. Okay, so we're going to be printing stuff off and then we're going to call that function. Okay, so let's, and also for good measure, let's just print the global variable in the global space as well. And just to verify that within the global space, the value has changed as well. Okay, so let's run it. First value is 10. Well, that's just printing the global variable in line 15. The next one is calling the function, line 10, that's the value. And then on line 12, after we increment it by 100, we're going to print it off. And no error. And the last one is in the global space, line 18, we are printing it off. So that's the way that one way you can update a global variable by using the global keyword within a function. Okay, let's do another save as, and we'll save this as for-local-global.py. And in this one, we are going to update the global variable. We're going to do it a different way. And this way is maybe preferred if you work at a place or you don't like using global variables per se within functions. So what we can do is we can get rid of the global keyword. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a return value within a function. And this works because, remember, within the function we do have access to the value of global var. But now what we're going to do is we're going to create a local variable within the function, and I'll just call it, I don't know, local var. And we'll set it or assign it equal to the value of global var. And then what we'll do is we'll just verify that we do have the value of global var and local var by just printing it off. And instead of incrementing global var, because we know that's going to generate an error, we're going to increment local var by 100. And then after that, we'll just print off local var just to verify that that value has been updated. And in this case, we're going to have a return value. So what are we going to return? We're going to return the updated value called local var. Remember, global var hasn't changed yet, but what we can do is, because we're outside now in the global space, we have a return statement. We now can assign global var equal to the return value. In other words, the updated value. And let's clear this off. Let's run. And no surprise, right? Print global var, it started off as 10. We did the assignment within the function. We assigned global var equal to local var. And we'll print that off. No surprise. No value changes, 10. Then what we're going to do is we're going to increment local var by 100. So that should be 110, and we're going to print it off, and there it is. And then we're going to return it. So in the global space, we'll just reassign the variable global var to the new updated value, and we'll print it off, and there it is. It's updated. So you can use this if you don't want to use global variables. I hope this video helps you and clarifies between global and local scope. And it's important that we understand this, because otherwise we can introduce really strange bugs into our program. Okay, we'll see you soon. And please subscribe to the channel.